Hello and welcome to the last day of the African Regional Conference 2015. I'm joined now by Victor Kgomoeswana, who is the author of Africa is Open for Business. Victor, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, Victor, obviously, we're at the last day now of the conference. You're about to deliver your sort of closing plenary speech for the conference this year. Based on the conversations that you've had and also the sessions that you've seen, what are the key points that you've taken away from ARC this year?
Yeah, the key point is that I'm reassured that my thesis that Africa is open for business is not unfounded, because these are real leaders of businesses, and of course the financial sector being the lifeblood, if you like, of the world economy. If the people in the sector are saying what they have said, which is all positive about Africa's prospects, then we're on the right track.
Now, Victor, one of the things that's come through from this year's conference really is this idea of African financial services being very highly innovative, but also there's a great strength to the financial services sector on the continent. And that isn't something that we hear sort of often outside Africa, is it?
You won't hear a lot about it because inclusion is still a problem. There are still many people who are out of the system who should be able to use the financial sector to pay, to send money, to receive money, to conduct business. And what I like is that because of the advent of telecommunications, particularly mobile telecommunications, the innovations like M-Pesa and everything, EcoCash in Zimbabwe, have come to the fore to almost lift people who are down in the basement to the first, second floor of the world financial market. So I believe that although you don't hear about it, you will continue to hear about it. What am I talking about? Think about Nigerian banks. You yourselves, in your top 1,000 banks, I think of the world, you included 15 Nigerian banks for the first time. When 10 years ago, Nigerian banks, you can say, were mainly equivalent in the minds of many, with 419 scam and all kinds of inefficiencies. So I believe that the innovation of banks like UBA, the First Bank of Nigeria, Access, Zenith, those are examples that Africa's financial sector is finding solutions of its own to take to the people, but using, of course, world-class technology. Think about Equity Bank and how the M-Pesa story came from Vodafone's technology to create solutions for access to financial services for Africans. So I believe that the more we see the convergence of financial services, the gap that we have in access and mobile technology particularly, we will see that access to financial services in Africa improves, and of course Africa will be part of the global world, which is good for everybody.
And obviously, tying into the idea is we're seeing a lot more of a push, both politically and economically, to achieve greater integration across the continent, particularly in terms of regional payment systems. And this has been a huge success story. And I think the world is now looking at Africa.
Yeah, and we should accelerate it because, you know, and by the way, while we were chugging along trying to get it on, I think global terrorism slept us wide awake because we realized that without an understanding of who moves money where, we will remain vulnerable and will remain unable to have the multilateralism that the world needs today.
And this is something that groups like SWIFT can offer to financial services firms in Africa, can't they?
That's why I'm here. I mean, that's why I believe in the story of SWIFT, because in the end, the world is one. We like to emphasize the differences, but in the end, we realize that the world is one. And when a SWIFT can bring the world together by just handling one aspect, which is financial transactions, telecommunications, it shows you that there is enough in the world to work together and get the story of the world going where it should be.
Victor, I'm looking forward to seeing you speaking later today, and thank you again for your time.
It's been a pleasure.